to it, TurboTax. Ravens have the first points of the game. Justin Tucker able to knock it through from 53. Lamar Jackson accounted for 40 of the 41 yards on that first possession. And that 9-yard completion he threw to Bateman on 3rd and 12 was big. Got him into field goal range. And when you have Tucker on your team and you're John Harbaugh, you don't hesitate.
What a weapon Justin Tucker is in a game like this, playoff game, and with the wind swirling the way that it is.
It is a rarity what the Houston Texans have been able to accomplish with a rookie head coach and a rookie starting quarterback in the playoffs. They won last week, and they are the, since 1950, third combo. Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan and Joe Flacco and John Harbaugh back in 2008, a team that ended up in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and it's not like sometimes when a rookie quarterback will go to an already built team. You know, later in the first round, this was a team that won 3 games. So for him to turn it around, or both those guys to turn it around the way they have, even more impressive.
Stroud underneath the Singletary, and he is out of bounds with a 10-yard pickup. And that is the first down of the game for the Texans. Taking on a defense that's good. 60 sacks this year for the Ravens, and the first defense since the merger to lead the league in points allowed, sacks, and takeaways. They can beat you a lot of ways.
Yes, they can, and they don't give up big plays either. And so it's hard to move the football against this group. You don't get the big chunks, and they're really good on 3rd down as well. They're great in the red zone. They are strong across the board at every position.
Singletary, nothing. Stood up at the line of scrimmage, lost one. Matt Abike, who's had a tremendous season, stopping the run, rushing the passer, made the stop.
Yeah, this group, there are teams that have been able to come in and run the football against Baltimore. That has not been a strength for this Texans offense, and it looked like there was a little bit of trouble, sure was, on the exchange there between Dieter and Stroud.
Here's Collins, get him involved, and coming up to make that stop was Hamilton. The all-pro safety who came flying up, and a gain of just 3.
A lot of times when you throw that route, you have one guy that you have to beat, and it's up to that receiver then, in this case Nico Collins, to make a guy miss. But when it's Kyle Hamilton that you're having to try to make miss, that doesn't happen very often. It's why he's an all-pro safety.
No huddle for the Texans on 3rd and 8. Stroud floats it for Singletary. What a play. And a big completion to quiet the crowd and get the Texans a first down. A gain of 26. Patrick Queen was back in coverage.
Well, they look initially like they might bring 5. They drop 1, they rush 4, and they are able to get to Stroud. He's able to extend the play, and he sees Singletary out there. He's one-on-one with Queen, lays it up, and able to convert.
Going to be a false start here against the Texans, who just got 26 yards on 3rd and 8.
Full start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's a 4-time Pro Bowl left tackle, Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil, he moves a little bit early, backs them up, and he is coming off a huge game last week. In fact that he had to block an all-pro, and Myles Garrett does an excellent job. You see that he gets going a little bit early, but he's as good in pass protection as any left tackle in the game.
Great one playing tonight, too, and Trent Williams of the 49ers. Here is Dalton Schultz, who gets thrown to the ground by Patrick Queen. It looked like the official was grabbing for a flag, but doesn't throw it. And a gain of about 9.
Well, you're seeing Stroud. He's had bodies around him. A lot of pressure, as I mentioned, going back to week 1. He was under a lot of pressure in that game. This game plan's a little different today than it was week 1. with Bobby Slowick. You can see Jadeveon Clowney, he's able to press the pocket inside, but a lot of quick passing, get the ball out of Stroud's hands. Probably won't see as many deep shots because it's an area where Baltimore has been so good. They just don't give you many chances for those.
Blitz off the edge. Pressure from Millette.
I think we're going to see a flag on that.
I would think so. They haven't thrown it yet. C.J. Stroud under pressure on a blitz from Millette. Just threw it to an empty spot on the field. No flag has been thrown yet.
Well, they're talking about it, but there was no receiver anywhere near, and he was clearly in the pocket. They had Brevin Jordan. There's the flag. Brevin Jordan, the tight end, was to that side, and he was going to help secure the edge. He just never saw Millette coming off the edge.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 7. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Lost it down. 3rd down.
Well, that's the right call.
For the moment, that knocks Houston out of field goal range with that loss of 10 and the loss of down where it's 3rd and 16. They shut this play down with a false start.
Full start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
You know, Joe, you hear a lot of people talk about the stadiums around the league and how loud they can get. M&T Stadium, Bank Stadium, doesn't get a lot of recognition for the atmosphere here, especially playoff atmosphere, but it is extremely loud, and we're seeing it have an impact on this game already with a couple false starts on this drive.
And the 3rd penalty overall on this drive against the Texans, that makes it 3rd and 21. Pressure off the edge. Stroud downfield for Collins, out of bounds. And this crowd and this defense combined to stop that Texans drive and force a punt. Matabike and Clowney had pressure.
Yeah, and again, a 4-man rush, which is pretty typical for Mike McDonald's defense. He's able to scheme a lot of different looks. They run a lot of different stunts up front. They give some simulated pressures and blitz looks. And they typically, however, rush 4, but they've been really effective with it, and they have led the league in sacks this year without having to bring a lot of people, and they've been able to get after Stroud today with a 4-man rush.
Duvernay with a fair catch after a 34-yard punt. Kyle Hamilton, the All-Pro, he can play. That defense stiffened up. Penalty.
Trying to slow down this run game for the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, of course, being a big part of that. He led the team in rushing this year, but even with Gus Edwards and when they bring in Justice Hill, you know, those guys have been effective as well. They lost Keaton Mitchell a few weeks back, and he was really coming on. A big play back, doing a lot of really good things, but John Harbaugh has always had a stable of running backs, even in spite of some of the injuries that they've incurred here over the last couple of years.
Here's Hill. Hill gets 4. Derek Barnett, the former Eagle, was in to make that stop. And not only Keaton Mitchell, but they lost J.K. Dobbins to a torn Achilles week 1 against the Texans. So 2 huge pieces that are not there for this offense. But as John told us, you know, they've been through a lot of injuries over the last few years, and they just keep rolling on, and not much bothers them.
No, they've kind of learned how to deal with those. Keaton Mitchell, he was averaging over 8 yards a carry before he got hurt.
3rd down and 2. Jackson has to backpedal. They throw a flag, and the pass incomplete for Zay Flowers, who tried for that one-handed grab, but a flag is thrown, and it's a hold against the Ravens. John Hussey checks with the Houston sideline, and D'Amico Ryans likely will be declined, and the punt will be forthcoming.
Holding. Offense number 76. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
They get the left guard John Simpson, who won that job replacing Ben Powers during training camp.
Yeah, it's one of the better offensive lines in football. They've been playing together and really have done a nice job. And for Houston to come out and on 3rd and short be able to make a stop and force this punt, going to get pretty good field position now for their offense.
So that ball came off weird. A flag flies, and we'll see where they mark this ball out of bounds. It is being marked on Baltimore's side of the 50, but a flag is down as that punt headed straight into the wind. And it's just a 27-yard punt by Jordan Stout.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 17. That 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. 1st down.
Things up, feel a little bit better about that call sheet.
Here is a handoff. Clowney makes the stop on Singletary, no gain. And the former #1 overall pick by the Texans back in 2014 puts an exclamation point on that tackle.
Yeah, they're going to get right back on the line of scrimmage. He just works right through Dalton Schultz and makes a big play.
Stroud can't find anywhere to go, and now he does, but Schultz can't make the catch. It was there, and now 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it was there, and this Ravens defense, they have been awfully sticky here in the early going in coverage. Just nowhere really for Stroud to go with the ball, and so you see that he's having to keep these plays alive and then just give guys chances. Now, you don't see that very often from Dalton Schultz. He's been a good player for this Texans team this year, coming from Dallas, and a missed opportunity for him.
Ravens playing without their top corner, Marlon Humphrey, as well. But a good start for that group. Here's Collins trying to make Stone miss. He does. And they're going to mark Nico Collins. Oh, the near official is giving Collins enough for a 1st down.
Well, it's a good job by Nico Collins. You got Roquan Smith, who's unblocked right in Stroud's face, and they get it, but Stone just not able to make the tackle. Another false start, this time by George Fant at right tackle.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
You know, they had such a clean game last week against Cleveland. Just 3 penalties in that entire ball game for 20 yards, and were very efficient. And you know, here in the early going, you can see they've got 5 penalties today for already twice as many yards as they had all of last week. And against this defense, boy, that makes it tough when you're constantly behind the sticks.
Stroud. Schultz didn't drop that one. On a 1-year deal, he has been a great addition for the rookie quarterback in a gain of 22.
Oh, it's so good. You've got him working against a corner as well. You see how he gets Ronald Darby turned around because he uses his speed and threatens that he's going to go by him or to the inside and keeps it vertical. And when he comes out of that break, creates the separation. That's well done.
Singletary looking for a block from Tunsil, and like a long handoff, gets just 2.
Well, in last week's game, they were able to take some shots against Cleveland. A really good defense, #1 pass defense, and they hit a number of those plays. They've been very explosive over the last 2 weeks. This is a little bit different because I mentioned that Baltimore doesn't give up the big plays, and so Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, who's done a great job as a play caller, that the big plays are going to come more in the intermediate area. You're not going to have the deep shots down the field, and a lot of the times they're going to have to catch and run.
Here's a ball tipped and nearly picked by Hamilton. Jordan was the target over the middle at the end of that play, and it was nearly intercepted after the tip by Travis Jones.
Oh, Travis Jones, he saved one, because if this ball gets on Brevin Jordan, only Kyle Hamilton is there to make a play. And Jordan, we saw the speed that he has last week when he went 70-plus yards for a touchdown against Cleveland, but it was set up for a pretty nice play, and Travis Jones interrupted it.
And now penalty flag shuts this play down for a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense number 7. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Talked about the crowd noise here at M&T Bank Stadium. This is George Fant after his false start a few plays ago, having a tough time here in the cadence.
Yeah, well, you knew that was going to be an issue. And I think also in addition to that, we are seeing, you know, I think some of the nerves of this Houston team playing this playoff game on the road.
3rd down and 13 now. Stroud incomplete for Collins to bring up 4th down. And Fairbairn will come on. He's had a very good year. 29-year-old from Hawaii, kicking on this very cold, windy day in Baltimore, and about to attempt a 50-yard try. Fairbairn
play a lot of. In fact, they play the second most zone coverage in the NFL coming into this game. And when you play man coverage against a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, you're going to see a lot more of those types of runs if it continues.
Petrie coming on a blitz again. Jackson steps up. Zay Flowers with a catch and a 1st down.
Well, Zay Flowers, he is really quick and he can run. So he gets off the ball. Now he's past Derek Stingley, but he's trying to get to the outside. So somehow he's got to get Stingley past him so that he can run the out route and give Jackson a place to go with the football. You know, that's a little bit of a challenge. You want to use speed to get open, but sometimes then you get on top of the defender and it becomes a little bit tough. But he does a really nice job of being able to get him past him and still get to the sidelines for the completion.
3rd wide receiver off the board in the draft, 22nd pick overall. What a year. Here's Edwards. A gain of 9. And the Ravens with a little more success running it as we look at this matchup, which we'll watch all night.
Yeah, this is what we will see, that Derek Stingley is traveling wherever Zay Flowers goes. Now, if Flowers lines up in the slot, Stingley will not go with him, but he will be to that side of the field. When he's in man coverage, he'll continue to run with him, but in the zone coverage, if Flowers runs across the field, Stingley won't run with him then either. But it's the same style they ran last week against Amari Cooper that was very effective in that game.
Edwards not able to pick it up. 3rd down coming up. Good play by those interior guys. Malik Collins, when you asked D'Amico Ryans who has to play great for you guys to win tomorrow, he mentioned the 2 inside tackles, Sheldon Rankins and Malik Collins.
Yeah, those guys have got to be able to hold the point in the middle.
They are nowhere to be found here as Edwards gets the 1st down. Gain of 6.
Well, and here's why, Joe, because they run the double teams on both sides. They run the double team here and they double team here. So you've got 4 hands on each of these defensive tackles, and they get movement. You see that there's nobody there until linebacker level, and that's a bit of a concern for D'Amico Ryans coming into this game.
So's that statistic for the Texans. 58 rush yards for the Ravens, 6 for Houston. On first down, Jackson able to complete it as he finds Charlie Kohler. They are a week away from getting Mark Andrews back, it appears, from that left ankle surgery. And when they get him back, if they play past this week, that is a big weapon coming back for the Ravens. And Lamar Jackson, he's as good as there is.
Boy, he sure is. He's one of my favorite players. I still don't think people talk about him enough when they talk about the great tight ends in our league, and yet, you know, he still gets plenty of accolades, but just a terrific player. Pretty surprising. They thought it might be season ending when he had that surgery, but if the Ravens continue, all signs point to a Mark Andrews return next week.
Dalvin Cook is in the game for the first time, the former Jet and Minnesota Viking. The handoff was to Justice Hill after they faked it to Cook, and no gain on the play.
Yeah, they put Dalvin Cook in the backfield, and how much will we see of him, I'm not real sure, but that's a little taste of it. They put him at fullback, and you'd have to believe then that there's something that's going to come off of this if he's back in the game in that same formation.
Third down and 5. Jackson, first down, inside the 5 near the 2.
You're going to see what Lamar Jackson sees as he drops back, and it opens up. Nobody's got eyes on him once again. And what they do a great job of, Baltimore, is once, you know, Lamar Jackson runs so often that once the skill players see that, they immediately turn around and then they become blockers for him.
Here is Edwards bottled up. He's had a big year scoring touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, 11 of which were from 3 yards and in. He loses one here as Sheldon Rankins got through and was the first guy to hit him.
Well, and this is when they bring in big number 42, Patrick Ricard, and you know they list him as a fullback. He plays more inline tight end. I would argue he's a 6th offensive lineman because he's 300 pounds.
Second and goal. They fake it to Edwards, and now complete it to Aguilar for the touchdown.